Okay, I'm now going to introduce the third book that I've chosen to talk about, Catalogue Sterpium by Charles Deering, published in 1738. So a very early book for us. Is a catalogue of plants naturally growing and commonly cultivated in England, but especially in Nottinghamshire. And it is one of the earliest scientific surveys of its type. Its class mark, shelf mark, is BB2267. It was printed by George Ayscough, Nottingham printer and father of Samuel Ayscough, and sold by Rivington at the Bible and Crown, St Paul's Churchyard, London. So many of us at Bromley and wider have heard of Charles Deering, but just for a little bit of background, he was born in Saxony circa 1695, not an exact date there, but he came to London in 1713 as a diplomatic secretary. He studied anatomy and botany in France. He then came back to England in 1719. And whilst in London, he joined the Botanical Society, formed by Jacob Dillenius and John Martin. And he was assisted by Dillenius for several parts of this catalogue, particularly when listing plants in the cryptogram family, which is plants that reproduce via spores such as mosses and ferns. Our copy, as you can see, has marginalia, so writing there in someone's hand, assumed to be that of Deering's own hand. It is also unique. There is an official dedication to William Griffiths, a Royal Navy lieutenant, and there is consensus that this was Deering's own copy. So this catalogue of plants was used by Thomas Jowett and is referenced in his herbarium and botanical calendars. On page 137, where we've opened, you can see Deering describes a Nottingham catchfly at the bottom. It was identified back in 1738 as Lychnis sylvestris, wild white catchfly. And you can see here he describes where it's growing on the wall of, and it is continued overleaf, Nottingham Castle Yard, and on the rock at Sneinton Hermitage in great plenty. So remember back, I was saying it no longer grows in Nottingham. The catchfly disappeared from Nottingham and Nottingham Castle, really, and from the castle walls when the castle was renovated later in the 19th century. So, but back in 1738, we can see that it was plentiful. And hopefully, as part of the project to get it back growing, we'll see it plentiful again in the castle area. So Deering died in 1749, and in 1751 his accomplished and celebrated work, A History of Nottingham, was published. However, the catalogue of plants and Deering's contribution to botany is very much noted, and there is a genus of plants named after him, the Deringia.